The 2025 NBA season began with a quiet but growing belief in Oklahoma City that something special was forming. After years of patient rebuilding and smart management, the Thunder had finally assembled one of the youngest, most talented, and most cohesive rosters in the league. Their leader, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, was coming off an MVP-caliber 2024 campaign, and his poise, control, and relentless focus had begun to define the team's identity. Around him, a group of emerging stars like Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Josh Giddey, and Lu Dort formed the backbone of a team that balanced youth with maturity beyond its years. When the season tipped off, few experts truly believed Oklahoma City would climb all the way to the mountaintop. The Western Conference was loaded with contenders. The Denver Nuggets, led by Nikola Jokic, remained formidable, the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic looked dangerous, and the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, and Los Angeles Lakers all still demanded respect. But what separated the Thunder was not a single superstar moment, it was the unity, the belief that every possession mattered, and the system designed by head coach Mark Daigneault that allowed every player to shine within a shared rhythm. In the first half of the regular season, the Thunder quickly made it clear that last year's playoff run was no fluke. Gilgeous-Alexander continued to orchestrate games with surgical precision, combining slippery drives with mid-range mastery and elite defense. Jalen Williams took a major leap, becoming a versatile two-way threat capable of guarding multiple positions and serving as a secondary creator. Holmgren, finally healthy and comfortable, became the defensive anchor. His shot blocking, rebounding, and three-point shooting transformed the Thunder's spacing on both ends. The chemistry was organic, a product of years of growth rather than sudden stardom. By mid-season, Oklahoma City had earned the best record in the West. They played fast but smart, with Daigneault emphasizing pace, spacing, and defensive rotations that frustrated even elite offenses. The locker room dynamic was unique, no egos, no drama, just a group of young men with a shared mission to prove they belonged on basketball's biggest stage. The All-Star break confirmed their rise when Shai was named a starter for the Western Conference, and Chet Holmgren received recognition as a rising star with the potential to redefine the modern center position. While the league buzzed about the Lakers' star power and Denver's experience, Thunder fans began whispering that maybe this was the year their long wait would end. As the regular season wound down, Oklahoma City faced its first major test. In March, a brief injury to Gilgeous-Alexander forced the rest of the lineup to shoulder the load. Critics predicted a collapse, but instead, the team grew stronger. Giddey elevated his playmaking, Jalen Williams took on clutch scoring duties, and Holmgren held down. The finals opened in Oklahoma City, and the atmosphere was unlike anything the city had ever experienced. From the moment the Thunder players walked onto the court, the crowd erupted into an unrelenting roar that shook the walls of Paycom Center. For years, these fans had waited to see their team return to the NBA's grandest stage, and now they were witnessing a group that embodied everything the franchise stood for: resilience, teamwork, and belief. The Indiana Pacers arrived with confidence of their own. Tyrese Haliburton had evolved into one of the best playmakers in the league, and the addition of Pascal Siakam had given Indiana a balance of veteran leadership and youthful flair. This was not a team content with being a Cinderella story, they were determined to win it all. Game 1 was a statement from Oklahoma City. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander controlled the tempo with surgical precision, using his mid-range game and patience to carve through Indiana's defense. Holmgren set the tone early with 2 emphatic blocks on Siakam, while Jalen Williams and Lu Dort locked in defensively, forcing the Pacers into tough shots. By halftime, the Thunder led comfortably, and though Indiana made a late run, Shai's calm demeanor and clutch free throws sealed a 112-104 victory. The city erupted that night, fireworks exploding over downtown Oklahoma City as fans celebrated the first finals win in franchise history under the Thunder name. Game 2, however, reminded everyone that the Pacers were not just passengers in this story. Haliburton bounced back with a masterful 35-point performance, finding shooters and punishing defensive lapses. Siakam attacked relentlessly, and the Pacers' supporting cast, especially Bennedict Mathurin and Miles Turner, delivered when it mattered. Oklahoma City struggled with turnovers and cold shooting, and Indiana snatched a hard-fought 118-111 win, stealing home court advantage. It was the first time in the playoffs the Thunder looked rattled. Afterward, Shai told reporters that adversity was part of their identity, not a setback. When the series shifted to Indianapolis, the tension grew. The Pacers fans filled Gainbridge Fieldhouse with a sea of yellow, eager to push their young team toward glory. Game 3 was a grind from start to finish. The Thunder's defense tightened, with Holmgren controlling the paint and Jalen Williams hitting key jumpers late. The teams traded blows all night, but Shai once again rose to the moment, scoring 10 straight points in the final minutes to give the Thunder a 2-1 series lead. His composure was breathtaking, the kind of performance that separates stars from legends. Game 4 became an instant classic. Both teams played their best basketball of the postseason. Halliburton and Shai engaged in a duel that will be remembered for decades, trading step-backs, floaters, and deep threes. Every possession felt like a battle of wills. Holmgren hit a huge corner three to tie the game with 20 seconds left, but the celebration in Oklahoma City that night was unlike anything the city had ever seen. Streets overflowed with fans waving Thunder flags, cars honking in unison, and chants of OKC. OKC, echoing through the night sky. Paycom Center became the epicenter of joy, players hugging family members, coaches crying, and the front office staff finally breathing after years of meticulous rebuilding. This was not just a championship for a basketball team, it was a moment of vindication for an entire community that had believed through years of hardship, heartbreak, and near misses. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stood on the championship stage, holding the Larry O'Brien trophy high above his head, his face lit with both triumph and humility. His journey from being a young guard traded from the Clippers to becoming the face of a franchise had reached its pinnacle. The finals MVP speech was short but heartfelt. He thanked his teammates, the city, his family, and his coach. "We built this together," he said. "This city believed in us when no one else did. This isn't just a championship, it's a promise kept." Around him, Chet Holmgren was overwhelmed. For a player who had missed his first NBA season due to injury, to now stand as one of the key pieces in a championship team felt surreal. Reporters crowded around him as he tried to explain what it meant to him. "This team never gave up on me," Holmgren said. "Every day, we pushed each other to be better. This is just the beginning." His performance in the finals had silenced any doubts about his ability to compete physically in the league. He had not only protected the rim but also stretched the floor, creating a dynamic that opponents couldn't solve. Jalen Williams, the quiet but fearless forward, reflected on the season's journey. "We had to fight for every inch," he said. "People kept calling us too young, too early, but we knew who we were." His relentless defense and clutch shot-making throughout the playoffs had made him a fan favorite, and as he hugged teammates on the floor, tears streamed down his face. Coach Mark Daigneault watched from a distance, smiling. The architect of the Thunder system, he had transformed a roster of young players into a disciplined, selfless unit. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but his calm confidence had become the team's foundation. In the locker room after the win, he said only one thing to his players before the champagne started flying: "You earned this the right way." As the celebrations poured into the streets, the city of Oklahoma City came alive. Businesses offered free meals to fans wearing Thunder gear. Families filled downtown parks, dancing and singing. For a city that had experienced both the pain of losing the Supersonics years earlier and the slow rebuild after Durant's departure, this championship felt like a healing moment. It wasn't about revenge or validation, it was about belonging. The Thunder were no longer the young team with potential.